Yeah.
Welcome to Cambridge Bay, Nunavut. My name is Navalaluk Duluwagna. I'm born and raised in Cambridge Bay. I'm almost 65. I'm going to get my pension soon. Cambridge Bay is known as a fishing village from years back. Our ancestors didn't live in town. We all lived in camps all along the island, along the ocean, along the lakes. And there was no town in Cambridge Bay, so Cambridge Bay was pretty well built in the early 50s. And the first white people that came were the Roman Catholic priests, Anglican mission, the Hudson Bay and the fur trade, and the U.S. Air Force. And Cambridge Bay is known in Nunavut to have the longest roads to around town. So we have a long road going right out to the Arctic Ocean, out at Gravel Pit. And we also have a road right up to Mount Pelly. I'm not sure the distances. Do you know that, Brant?
Mount Pelly, I think, is over 15 kilometers.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
And
to
the ocean?
Long Point, I think, is probably 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those roads were first built in the 40s through the U.S. Air Force and military for their training purposes, for Arctic survival training. And that's why those roads are there, and they're quite useful for the residents of Cambridge Bay, Nunavut, because everyone likes going out on the land, of course. You know, Inuit love going on the land. And you can see cabins and camps all along the roads, and it's such a beautiful island. Although we don't have berries like they do on the mainland of Canada, so everyone kind of boats across to Baychimo or Bathurst Inlet to go berry picking. There's a few berries up by Augustus Hills where you were, Brant, eh? Did you see any berries out there?
I think I was past the season,
Okay,
but I could tell that there was.
Well, it was really cold season. We barely had summer, so we probably didn't even get any berries up there anyways.
And for wild animals, what kind of animals would you see around here?
We used to have tons and herds of caribou on the island, but not anymore. I think it's due to a mine camp that's close by, and climate change, of course. We get muskox. The muskox herd and the population is growing again. They died off from a disease, so we didn't get muskox for a couple of years, but they're slowly coming back now, and you can see some up at Ferguson Lake and up by that area, and out by Augustus Hills you'll see really small herds, so we're really happy to hear that. We get foxes, we get Arctic hare, Arctic char, wolverine, wolves, lots of wolves. That's probably what keeps the caribou away, is the wolves and the muskox too, probably. So like I said, Cambridge Bay is a fishing village, so we have lots of char all over in the lakes and the ocean, the river. It's one of the main diet food is Arctic char. We eat seal meat, caribou, muskox. But we're known as the main hub in this area in the Central Arctic. So we got a nice college, Arctic College campus where adult students educate on different courses like social worker program, teacher program. We have Inuit lessons now for adults, because we weren't supposed to speak our language when we went to residential school. So now, for myself, I learned my language and I got it back, and I'm really proud. And I survived residential school. And if anyone ever tries to take my grandson like the government, they're going to have to fight me. I don't want them ever to take my grandson or anyone anymore. No more residential school, no more grabbing kids. Same with foster care. We need a better system up here. We have a lot of shortage of housing. So hopefully soon we can fix this problem that is the biggest issue right now in Nunavut, the shortage of housing, and Cambridge Bay is growing so much, and everybody comes here to work because there's so much employment opportunities now. So people are slowly moving into Cambridge Bay from the other communities and from Nunavut because there's lack of housing, lack of employment. So over here in Cambridge, we're abundant of lots of jobs, lots of opportunities, lots of training. We have a high school and an elementary school, got the college campus. Cambridge Bay is the home of their brand new world-renowned Canadian High Arctic Research Station. So we get lots of scientists, biologists, students from all over the world, so it's quite interesting.
And I've noticed people all around the town are really friendly and welcoming. Would you say that's the Cambridge?
Yeah, that's what Cambridge Bay is known for, is very welcoming and very friendly people. I'm very proud of that because I'm from here.
It's August 2, 2019, and I just flew from Yellowknife to Cambridge Bay, Nunavut, staying at the Enoch Inn for one night, and then heading out on some adventures around the back country. So this is my room for tonight.
And the next song is the song I'm gonna try not to go for barren. That song is the hardest song on our throats. Go and like our Facebook page, The Sounds of Northern Lights.
Back to Cambridge Bay. It sure got windy here. It's 1:30 in the morning in Cambridge Bay, August 4. Taking a bit of shelter here in the co-op lobby. It is really pouring and windy at 2 in the morning in Cambridge Bay, Nunavut. Well, I'm about to enter the backcountry, just on this gravel road heading north of Cambridge Bay. Gonna go about 5 or 10 kilometers yet before I cut cross country. Well, it feels like I've been walking forever. I've done about 15 kilometers now on this gravel road. There's supposed to be a shack coming up at the top of this hill. So that's, whether it's there or not, that's where I'm gonna stop and set up a shelter. Set up my tent. See if I can make it through this wet, cold night. Just arrived to that shack I was talking about. In good time, and my legs are exhausted. Need to sit down, take a breather. Set my tent up behind this oil and gas structure. Little shack here, kind of block the wind a bit more. It's not the most durable tent for the Arctic, but I'm hoping it can make it through the night at least. I lined the inside with rocks and the outside with rocks too. Pegs weren't really going in the ground very deep. Of all the places that I could get hurt, I was trying to sit down here. Landed on my wrist pretty hard. Well, I'm back on the road. Now that the rain has let off, the mosquitoes are coming out more and more. And I'm heading straight north of where I camped last night, towards Jefferson Lake. Not a sign of a tree for days. This is another one of the lakes I really wanted to see on my trip out here. Feels good to make it here, about halfway to Jefferson. It's quite amazing how much ground I'm covering without seeing practically no wildlife. It's pretty barren, wet, cold, and I haven't seen anything other than a bit of birds out on the lake. It's very vast out here, very empty, and I'm just waiting and waiting to see something. Fox, muskox, a bear, whatever I can get my camera on. Well, behind me, I think I'm just gonna give this a personal name for reference. This is gonna be Flower and Jasmine Lake. It's a nice big lake at the end of my trek, pretty much. I might go a little bit further. And on the other side, there's this nice little round lake. So, in between two lakes, and I thought it'd be cool that 20 years later, maybe Flower will come up here. Flower and Jasmine will come up here and check this out. Good morning, it's day 3. I'm up by Jefferson Lake, a few kilometers away from the South Shore. And this is how I spent my night, sleeping under this emergency blanket, which works pretty decent, just not very comfortable. I picked a site with a nice back wall facing rock with some moss for cushioning, and just did what I could to get through the night. It never did get dark out here, so that helps. It's definitely very stagnant looking water. Very questionable. There's lots of living creatures in this bottle.
Well, I got my first muskox here. Wish it was alive, but better than nothing. Got another pretty cool little find here, caribou shed. I'm gonna leave it right where I found it. It's got a bit of green moss on it, but not a bad find. Got a bit off track here in the backcountry, and then coming around all these lakes, they all kind of look the same, but I noticed those gas barrels over there, which is a good indicator of where I want to be. There's my tent. This is truly an amazing landscape. A vast landscape, and all around me, all I see is barren terrain, rocks like this one, and freshwater lakes. There's a couple sandhill cranes back over the hill, some Pacific loons, red-throated loons. It's just amazing territory up here. And it feels so remote, isolated. I haven't seen a soul for 2 days. And I could walk any direction for miles and miles and probably wouldn't see anybody. This is the result of the frost lifting. You get all these cracks and clumps of moss and vegetation. There's a bit of a peak over there that I had to cross to get here. It's about 15 kilometers away. So that's kind of one of my bearings. I know if I walk that direction, that I'm heading south. Well, it's Tuesday, August 6th. Last night I left ferry early in the morning and made it to Jefferson Lake and then backtrack about 10K. I'm now pushing hard to get back to the airport. I should get back to the airport around 1 p.m., which means I've covered about 35 kilometers in the last 20 hours or so. I'm gonna take a break at the airport and then head over to Long Point. Hopefully I'll be able to hitch a ride or something like that. Last night I basically stayed under a tarp between a couple rocks, and there was a constant dew and fog all night like there is now. So feeling a little damp, a little worn out, but I'm gonna start making my way back south towards Cambridge Bay. I can see Cambridge Bay for the first time in 3 days of walking in the backcountry. I'm completely exhausted right now. I've covered about 80 kilometers in the past 3 days. And today, probably did about almost 40 with all the roads and everything. So my feet are very sore. My body's very sore. And I just want some fresh water. It's good to see the town below, but it's still a deceivingly long distance away. Well, after a quick break at the airport, just had some of the homemade chili there. That was delicious. Now I'm back on the move with blistered feet again, heading towards Long Point. Well, after being inland for the last 3 days, I'm now back on the beach, white sand beach, heading west towards Long Point. I did get a boost along the way. Quad picked me up. Took me about 20 kilometers, so that saved me a good 5 hours of walking. Seeing lots of sign of big fish along the shoreline. A couple dead Arctic chars skinned out. So now if I can just rig up a set again with a broken rod, I might have success at having some lunch for tonight. Well, I've reached Long Point, west of Cambridge Bay. My feet are certainly taking a pounding today. Can barely put any weight on them. There's a couple old abandoned looking shacks around me. I'm gonna go as far as I can before I set down for the night, so I don't have to worry about moving once I get too comfortable. Incredible, incredible weather and landscape. Perfect way to end the day. It's amazing out here. Some Arctic mushrooms. So for night 3, I'll be staying in this tent. Well, it's 3:30 in the morning, August 7, and I'm about to get out of here and pack up and hit the trail again. Work my way back to Cambridge Bay. An incredibly exhausting day yesterday. Not a very comfortable sleep either. My feet took hours and hours to calm down. It was just lots of pain. I'm out of water, so that doesn't help. And now I'm trekking up on this plateau, and the beach I walked along last night to get here. I'm just one step up a ridge, walking back the way I came from. Nice view of the ocean though. About 3 or 4 hours into this day 4 hike, and I'm starting to see signs of life again. A bunch of shacks down along the coast. The bugs have really picked up today. Not enough wind, I guess. I think that's Ron's house. And there's those hills across the
You won? Yeah. Oh, yes. 7.
Is there coffee in there?
She's taking that off so it'll be easier to pound it onto the wood.
For drying.
Yeah. Oh no, that one's mine. This one's yours? Yeah. Oh. But you can use it. Untitled now. Yeah. That one, ito pang mito. Ito pang mito na. Ito pang mito.
Careful. Slippery.
Traditional way, eh?
My turn?
When he got really small,
Oh, no kidding. Wow. Would suck if you cut through, eh?
yeah.
You have to,
sew it.
repair it.
Yeah, we got needles and sinew.
Then you got sinew.
Yeah. Atigit ako nila ko. Ay.
Ako nagkaroon na na mo. Uy, kaluham na ako nila ko.
Nababudi. Hi.
You guys need to build around
So do people live in these cabins?
Yeah, a lot of people live down on this side. By on that road all the way up here, they live up here.
Yeah.
But they come up weekend, eh?
Oh. And is there good fishing in this lake?
It's good fishing on this.
Yeah.
Even if you walking down to the end of Mount Pelly?
Yeah, I think I'll go down the end and then come back up on the other side.
Yeah. There's another lake. From that end, I used to canoe, paddle all the way with my family by the river. Come from that end. There's a lake down there near this Mount Pelly. It's a long lake down.
Yeah.
It's about, I think it's about from the end of Mount Pelly to the end. It's about maybe 20 miles. Long lake. That they call it Long Lake. Yeah.
And there's fish in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fish, trout. And then I used to paddle all the way by the river and go this way down to the lake and right down to Cambridge Bay by the river.
Oh, wow.
That's what I do. In the olden days, me and my family, no transportation, no nothing. We used to walk from end of the Mount Pelly to town to get some supplies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and walk back, walk down. Yeah.
Not many people do that now, hey?
Most people do, but not anymore, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it up here.
Do you see any muskox here?
Yeah.
Muskox?
Sometimes there's a muskox in that end.
Down in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go on top of the Mount Pelly, you might see odd ones, eh?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So which is good. No.
Yeah,
So
I'd like to see one.
how long you figure you're gonna be up here at sea? What's today? Thursday, Friday,
Yeah, so I'll be back in town tomorrow.
tomorrow. eh?
Yeah.
But
And then I'll
you're
hang
gonna
out.
walk in that the other end to the road, eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around here tonight, and then I'll probably camp here for one night, and then in the morning walk out.
Oh, okay. Anyway, most people come at night.
Yeah.
They come and do some fishing here. Especially weekend, they come up here all the time.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I hope you have a good time.
Yeah.
eh?
Thanks
It's
a lot.
gonna be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get one more picture with this one,
Yeah.
just in case. So you're.
Oh, yeah, nice camp, nice view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple of raindrops there. So your name was Whiskey Joe?
Yeah.
Well, it's Thursday, August 8th, 2019. Got a couple more days out here on the land. We took a break in Cambridge Bay. Got a 20-hour break. Now I'm back out trekking again. I've got this huge lake behind me, following that shoreline. And on this side, I've got Mount Pelly. Well, the nice thing about being up this high on Mount Pelly is this wind is keeping the bugs down for sure. I've only had a couple land on me so far, compared to 2 days ago where if I took my hood or toque or balaclava off, I had 100 on the face in seconds. So this is pretty nice hiking. That's the ridge of Mount Pelly. I got one more step to go up and then I'm at the peak. Try to pick a path that was a little less cobbly so that I don't slip and fall out of control. Following a little chute here, going up between two gravel banks. I don't want to go too close to the edge of this steep embankment because I want to be safe for the camera crew. Well, I'm thinking when I go up this next little step, that'll be at the peak of Mount Pelly. I was wrong before, and then there was 3 more steps, but I'm hoping that this is the last one. Let's just take a quick look here. There's Lady Pelly and Baby Pelly. I'm standing at the top of Mount Pelly now. What an incredible view. This is one of the highlights of this trip, unquestionably. Scanning the land below, looking for any signs of movement, hoping to see a muskox. This is a long way to travel to not come out with a muskox. So far in my trekking, I've covered 130 kilometers of land looking for muskox. That's one of my primary goals, is to find one. Well, I am now heading back down the mountain on the east side this time. Kind of zigzagging my way down, taking my best route possible. Breaking the angle. Aragon falcons are concerned with my presence here. Working my way down the south-facing slope now, out of the wind. Bugs are picking up again. Still not a sign of a muskox though. long trench to get out of the wind. In the background, in the far distance, about 15 kilometers away, I see Cambridge Bay, and that's what brings the pain in the legs when you see your way out, kind of that last mile feeling, seeing all those buildings and warm places, kind of brings the pain to the feet and to the legs and the knees. And I just want to be done and get out of here and get to one of those buildings. But at the same time, I'm trying to soak in as much of this nature and scenery here as I can, knowing that all of it will be over very soon. Well, Cambridge Bay, I had a great time visiting your community, exploring the land, doing all this hiking and adventure to places like Long Point, Ferguson Lake, and just recently Mount Pelly. The food and culture was amazing, and I really hope to come back again sometime in the near future. And what a great way to close this trip, sitting out here on the base of Mount Pelly, looking towards Cambridge Bay, seeing the community down below in the valley. It's an incredible feeling, and I had an amazing time and adventure here, and I really appreciate all the friendly people helping me out along the way. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching. So this is a double tent ring. That was some pretty fascinating archaeological sites there. Tent rings, meat cache, clothing cache. I had a pretty good sleep in this little shack here. It was a good chance to get out of the wind, good windbreaker. Well, my ride didn't show up this morning to take me away from Mount Pelly back to Cambridge Bay, so I just did another 15-kilometer hike on top of everything else I've done this week. So now I'm definitely beat. Just coming up the hill to Cambridge Bay, which feels really good. And this will be my last hike for a while. I think this is called Ray Lake, and it's just outside of the Yellowknife Airport, down the Prospector Trail. About a 6-kilometer gentle hike. Pretty scenic adventure here.